You know, it's amazing when you look at what 25 years has been. I mean, really, we were at the precipice of beginning what's now known as the MSOs, or the multi-store operators. We were the first to have so many different things in the industry. First to have customer satisfaction measurements, first to have COPs, or CARSTAR operating procedures, also known as SOPs in the industry, first to have a collision repair website, first to have so many things, so many training aspects like CARSTAR University. So I think we were really proud that we were on the forefront of being able to develop those kinds of tools and resources for what were then all these independent shops in the country. You know, I think there's a couple of things driving the growth. Number one is our performance from a KPI perspective is better than it's ever been. And we've set very specific guidelines for KPI performance for all of our stores in the network and have met or exceeded all those. And what that does is it really sets us up for today's environment where the insurance carriers are really looking for performance, right? They're not looking for a relationship necessarily, they're looking for performance that will drive the overall enhancement of their business. And so I think the fact that we focused on KPIs and have such good performance is driving more and more business into our stores. In fact, 93% of the $640 million that went through our network last year was through an insurance carrier, not necessarily through a DRP relationship, but through an insurance carrier. So I think that's demonstrating the increasing partnership with the insurance carriers to make sure that we're delivering the kind of service that is necessary for them. We have a proprietary training system called the Edge Performance Platform, pretty unique in the industry. I don't think anyone else has anything like it. It has multiple tiers that everyone in our network has to navigate through the tiers, and they're required to comply with those various tiers. And there's a number of different levels, a number of phases, and I think it's a very sophisticated program which ultimately drives those CARSTAR operating procedures that helps our network to perform in very consistent ways and have consistent, repeatable outcomes over time, which is exactly what the insurance carriers are looking for. I think consolidation in the industry is a real opportunity for a lot of the independents, the small, either one store or small multiple store MSOs. We really believe that they have three choices today. One is to go it alone, and that's going to be increasingly difficult in this environment because it's so complex, demands so much more training, demands so much more human capital, and demands so much more money to invest, frankly, in the business. I think the second choice is for them to potentially is to sell to a consolidator. If they want to sell their business and then get the right price, we think that continues to be potentially a very good option. And then the third option is to join a network. A network like CARSTAR, we're really the only materially sized network in the nation today. Then you get the access to the training, you get the access to the resources, access to the purchasing program, access to the insurance DRP relationships. Those are the kinds of things that are going to help these independents and small MSOs grow their business over time. I think there's a lot of discussion going on in the industry today, particularly with the advent of aluminum and things like that. How will body shops be segmented in the future? Perhaps it won't be a one-size-fits-all, which it has historically been. And so the whole industry is looking at the idea of segmenting for express, for example, where we'll have certain shops that are dedicated to light hit, technology and having the resources and the manpower that's necessary to service those vehicles. And then you could have on the other end of the spectrum heavy hit shops that are doing doing non-drives, for example, and doing the heavy hit situations. And then you could have, perhaps as you look at aluminum, we don't think all stores should have be certified for aluminum over time. And so identifying those stores that are most appropriate to be aluminum certified, either given their proximity, given their relationship with OEMs for referrals, given their capacity to spend and build out the necessary requirements, all of those things will likely in the future provide different kinds of stores that will target different kinds of customer and insurance carrier needs. You know, it's interesting on the aluminum front, it seems new to the industry. We've been doing this for years. We're actually the only MSO who has an aluminum certification program for various OEMs. That's allowed us to do this for many, many years. And so I think it's given us somewhat of a leg up on understanding what's necessary from a technical perspective, from an investment perspective, and from a people perspective to make sure that our stores are appropriately recognized and certified for aluminum technology and doing the right kinds of things that are going to set themselves up for getting that volume over time. We're projecting that in the next 3 years, there will be probably about a dozen vehicles that will have major components that will be aluminum, and will require some degree of aluminum recognition or aluminum certification programs, and we believe that's going to accelerate over time. I think, as having been in the industry for 25 years, with the 4 millionth car that rolled through one of our network stores this year, I think it's incumbent upon us to kind of have the next generation of learning for the industry and training for the industry, so that independent and small MSOs can continue to be successful, continue to compete in what's going on in this world of consolidation, and have the resources that are necessary for them to be successful.